I do feel like I'm destined to finish the Barkley. And I kind of knew that way back in 2007. I was up for Camp Hard Rock, which is the couple weeks leading up to the Hard Rock 100. There's a bunch of runners and participants and volunteers that all go up to Silverton, Colorado, and they mark the trail, they get together, they do trail work, all leading up to the Hard Rock 100. And there's a lot of guys that participate in the Hard Rock that also go to Barkley, and I found myself in a room with about 6 or 7 of these other guys. They called themselves Barkers, and they're telling stories and tales of the Barkley. I'd heard about it, and the one thing that I remember is there was some website and it said, I don't care how tough the terrain is, I don't care how horrible I'm feeling, 2 miles per hour, that's all it takes to finish. There's 60-hour time limit, and it doesn't matter. I can do 2 miles an hour. And on paper, I think many of us as runners would say that. We could do 2 miles an hour. It doesn't matter how steep it is until you actually get out there. And I just remember sitting in this room with these 6 or 7 other individuals and thinking to myself, I'm going to be there one day. I'm going to do that race. And here we are. This is race week, and this will be my 3rd attempt. The first year I went, I completed 3 loops, and that's considered a fun run finish. I was following Alan Abbs, who I had kind of selected as my veteran, so to speak, the guy that I thought I was going to follow. Him and his amazing wife, Beverly, they're phenomenal athletes, and between them had, I think, 6 or 7 fun run finishes at the Barkley. We came into the finish with 5 minutes to spare under the 40-hour cutoff, and we knew that we were going to be that close for the previous 8 hours, and we were pushing really hard. And I definitely learned something about myself that day, that I can push through a lot of pain. I'm capable of a lot. So I returned the next year in 2015. My training had gone better, and I knocked about 7 hours off my fun run time. I was the only runner left to leave on a Loop 4 that year. And after descending after the first book on Loop 4 in the dark, it's a reverse loop, so it's something that was new. I had never gotten there before. I made it to book 2, and I lost a little bit of time, but leaving book 2, I knew I was on the path, but my mind started to play tricks on me. Nothing looked familiar. The creek, which I thought we were supposed to stay right next to, was all of a sudden 200 feet below me. I became confused, and that's when I decided to take a little nap. I laid down, I was thinking, maybe 10 minutes will clear my head, and a series of short cat naps later, I woke up about 45 minutes past that point in time, and I thought to myself, I am running a real thin line here, like a razor thin edge, because if I don't get moving, this isn't gonna happen. And I couldn't wake myself back up. I stumbled along, it was raining on me. I was laying down to sleep on rocks while the rain was coming down, and I eventually crawled under a rock outcropping, and I woke up an hour or 2 later completely frozen. And that's when I pulled out my emergency space blanket, which I always carry with me. And then it was game over. I got warm and slept the night away, and basically slept away the Barkley. I woke up and it was daylight, and I knew that my race was over. I didn't want to take Quitter's Road back, so I continued around the loop and finished it, but I was something like 8 hours over cutoff. So last year I got into the race again, but wasn't able to make it. sustained a couple of injuries. So this is my shot. This is my third time going back to the Barkley, and I'm gonna give it all I got. I'm gonna give it everything I have, and I'm just really excited to be back out there. There's no other race quite like this one that provides the challenge and the excitement that Barkley does. There's no hand-holding. You're on your own, and I love that. Well, hello. Just working here at the office. Haley's in her new favorite spot over here on the couch. And you rode your bike to work?
I did ride my bike to work. Well, I rode it halfway to work. I rode from Rio Vista Park, which is a big community park right on the side of the canal. And I took the canal system kind of up, away from work, and then back down. So it was about 12 miles.
And you're going to ride back?
Not tonight.
Oh.
I'm riding tomorrow. I'm going to do 19 tomorrow. Because I'm going to go from here back past it, and my husband's going to pick me up.
How many of you guys commute to work? I'm kind of intrigued by that. And I live about, I think I mapped it once. It's maybe 8.5 miles from my house to the office on trail. That would be super cool to do. I'm not quite ready to do that right now with everything that's going on, but definitely thought about it. Hopefully it'll make it happen. So something that is super cool that I just found out about, I got a text from Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, and I'm going on Ginger Runner Live tonight. We're going to be talking Barkley stuff. And I just found out, I was texting with him over the weekend, he's going to be out at the race this year, continuing his film project that he started last year with Gary Robbins. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to try and finagle something where I can have him film me in between loops, get that footage so I can share it with you guys. That'd be really, really cool. So hopefully I can bring him some swag or something and entice him to help me, since I won't have a crew or dedicated filmer out there. So anyways, that's it. But I guess I'll try and film a little bit tonight on Ginger Runner Live. That'd be kind of funny. By the time you guys see this, it will have already happened. So tune in. I was just asking myself why I wasn't filming this, so I am. For the second time. This is the rash life hashtag. Yeah, we've got fresh rash here. And this is what I'm medicating with. Got this calamine lotion and this ointment also, and these cotton balls. We're just kind of dripping it on. It's a glamorous life, I know. So every Monday we shoot our Mountain Outpost film. What do we call it? Mountain Outpost show. So I'm sitting down right now. I'm going to be scripting it, and basically the process, what we do is we have a little message board that several of us are on, and we just share little stories and snippets that we find during the course of a week. And so on Mondays I go and take a look at that folder and kind of pull together what I think is interesting or controversial or something I have an opinion about, and sit down, and then I kind of script out all the different stories. We film it, and then I'll show you what that looks like when we get to it. So a couple of the things that I found this week. First off, Droddy smashed a 61-minute half marathon. So if you don't remember, Noah Droddy was in the Olympic trials, and he had like long hair. He wore these like hipster sunglasses and like mustache, and like bombed out of the 10K, I believe. I think he got lapped. He didn't have a great race, but he kind of became an internet meme instantly, and it's pretty funny. And he just ran the New York City half marathon with a 61-minute finish time, which is freaking phenomenally fast. And he set like a 2-minute PR, I think. So I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, I've got here his times over the last couple years. He went from a 68 minute in 2014 and just kind of whittled it down. His best last year was 64, ran a 63 in January and 61:48 in just this last weekend, so it's pretty awesome. We've got a story about the Beer Ultra, which is this 50K race with 11 beers that people do in the UK. Killian announced his 2017 race schedule. We're going to talk about that. Blake Wood, one of the finishers of Barkley, he ran a 2:58 marathon this last weekend in Modesto, and he says that this was a record for the greatest number of years in between sub 3-hour marathons. So he's 58 years old, but he had 41-year span in between sub 3s. So definitely want to make mention of that. Got Old Dominion 100 is back in the Grand Slam, apparently. Marathon cheats. It seems like every week now we have a new marathon cheats story. This time there was a travel agency that was booking people, they guaranteed people Boston Marathon qualifying times, which is pretty crazy. There was a man in a suit that ran the half marathon in New York City the entire way, kept it all buttoned up. We've got Shillian Flanagan withdrawing from 2017 Boston. That's noteworthy. And I need to check in on UR Madness, but I think we're definitely down to the Elite 8 now. I don't think they're announcing the Final Four until tonight, so I won't be able to include that in the show. We might do a quick update on that tomorrow, but that's kind of where things are at. So I'm going to sit down and kind of pull all these stories together and into a script before we shoot it. All right, I just finished scripting. I don't know how long that took me, longer than I thought, but I also found another couple really great stories. So once I have it together, I read it over with Michael. We do a quick run through, kind of dial in any things that sounded weird, kind of helps to sound it out loud, and then we film. All right, we are set up in the studio now, and last step is I need to copy the script and put it into our little teleprompter program. So I'm gonna do that. And then I've got to get into costume because Jam Jam is a character. It's not really me, of course. All right, let's take a look at this rash. Ain't it pretty? This jacket is forever gonna have rash in it now.
I wish there was a name for it.
What? What do you got?
What the rash is
Oh,
called.
yeah. Dope and a highlighter.
Highlights.
Tell me what happens next with Outhouse. Like, we just filmed it. You just got the files. Because you really make the magic happen. I don't do shit.
Well, the preparation, I'll beg to differ. But they all go on the computer, and then after that they go into Premiere, and then pretty much getting rid of the green screen with the background. There normally isn't any standard of background. I just kind of random whatever works for that week. And then these days I put like a little design the background a little bit with like an outhouse theme it up a little bit. That actually can take a bit of time. And then segmenting it out, like sometimes video editing can be pretty monotonous and difficult. So using the ultra technique of breaking it up in segments, that's what I do for everything in life now. That's what the ultra stuff taught me. Everything's broken up into segments. So when I edit, I break it up in little segments, and each segment is brought in. And then on we have that thing called Basecamp where we all collaborate. So we put Jamil puts all the stories in there. I grab all the stories and all the images. They go all in there, and then all the fancy effects on top of it. And then I try to add my own little spin to it.
What's your favorite part about the show? Do you still enjoy it?
Yeah, I always look forward to it every week because these days we're not doing as much Mount Outpost as we used to. So it's that one little outlet each week, which is fun. That you can kind of let loose and be a little more creative in a different way. You know, it's a thing to take back and look at. Like, it's goofy, it's funny in a sport that's taken always too seriously. So it's fun. And I know people expect it every week. Tuesday or Thursday, and it's cool to put something out that people like look forward to. Like if I try to think of it as someone who is coming home from after work and like they had a long day, and they're like, oh man, now I can watch a Mountain Outpost or a Mountain House or whatever, and that like just brings them that little bit of joy, whatever it might be. I think that's a reason why a lot of people do what they do in video, at least, and on YouTube and all that kind of thing. And so if I can like help that feeling that someone gets after a long day, then like I think at least my job is successful. I think Jamil might say the same thing. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like the show's getting stale? Do you think we need to like spice it up a bit? Like thinking back to episode 1.
I think it's a good happy medium. Episode 1 was a little crazy and it was fun, but editing like that takes a lot of work. And then when you're in production, it takes a lot of work. Now a lot of that prep work is done beforehand in the script process, and so it's a lot more clean. Like we film it and like it's one take. It's like 10, depending on the length of the episode, it's like 10 to 11 minutes. And then editing is so much easier. So finding a happy balance, which I think there is. I think there's informative, and then there's also the Jamil's character in there as well. That works really well, and the stories I think are interesting. I think the writing is actually really good too as well. So.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think I don't know. One thing I want to see for the show, it would be fun to do actual interviews at races as the character. Yeah. I think that like we definitely want to try that. Do you think that would be good?
We've been trying. I think we had that idea. We had the idea for a little while, and I think it. Now that we have the right audio equipment, I think that I think that might have been a thing in the past.
Yeah. So I think doing maybe like an I Run Far style interview, but with the Jam character kind of being over the top, or like maybe going places with the runners that normally you can't go. Like I don't know exactly. We're still trying to come up with what we're gonna do.
And we have Mountain Outpost, so that's like kind of like part of it as well. When we go like the North Face.
Yeah. I just think it would be fun at, I don't know, we are going to Lake Sonoma, so it'd be kind of fun at something like that to, I don't know, stop by and chat with whoever, Debo or.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you had a good idea, which I won't reveal. I think that will work.
So stay tuned.
Pretty well.
Might be some fun stuff coming out of it. Yeah, it's a nice day. All right, so it's almost 5 o'clock. I'm going on Ginger Runner Live at 6 o'clock, but I'm gonna get a short run in first. Just gotta get out there. Feeling a little bit out of shape. Gonna see how the legs feel. This lotion, calamine lotion, has been keeping the itch away most of the day, so that's a good thing. All right, I'm out of here. I just finished my run. It's like 55:52. I got Ginger Runner live at 6, trying to make dinner, trying to get my setup going. Little crazy. Hopefully I get this done. Cool, we're getting started. Wow, flash forward, it's now 10:40. Getting a little snack in. Had a really great time talking to Ethan and Kimberly on Ginger Runner Live. If you want to check out that episode, it's over on his YouTube channel. It was super fun, and I feel like we could have talked for hours and hours about filmmaking and Barkley and everything going on. I didn't even get to talk to them about what they've got coming up. Always a joy to spend time with them, even if it's over the internet. And I'm stoked to be seeing them in Tennessee, and it sounds like Ethan offered to film for me. So in between loops, hopefully I will now have an actual filmmaker filming me, and hopefully we'll be able to include whatever he gets right here on this channel. That would be super cool. I'd be super in debt to Ethan if he helps me out with that. Something else that we did tonight is Enzo came over and we filmed what is going to be, I hate to say gear review, but it's going to be a gear review in our own style, in our own way. We're actually comparing 2 different headlamps that I'm going to be using at Barkley. So we're going to give you guys an insight into a name brand headlamp that is from one of the main manufacturers. It's from Black Diamond versus a cheapo type headlamp on Amazon. And it's going to be fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I don't know when that's going to come out. We filmed half of it tonight, kind of running around in the dark, and the other half we're going to film in the office tomorrow, like in the studio. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know if I have any other thoughts right now. I got a lot to do this week to get ready to go, and I really need to prioritize sleep, so I think I'm gonna go to bed right now. So hope you guys had a great day.